I'm still in the very beginning of the first chapter of the Yoga Sutra Patanjali to talking about how to sustain our mental health. So when we sustain the mental health, we need to know these three layers of our existence. One, the outer layer is the senses. We have the five senses where the information is coming through the senses to giving the information for our mind. How to deal with the external world. And then the most inner self, we call this manas or chitta, the mind, the layer of the mind. Just imagine the mind is like a just white screen, white screen, whatever in the back. So the moment a projection happening from the outside to the inside, we have a prisma or some, how to call, a crystal in the middle. You know, in a physics in a school you learn that. You know, light going through the crystal, and then it can go into direction all the rainbow colors coming like that. I see like the mind sometimes like that. So external world information coming, and through we need this medium inside in the middle. Without this medium we don't get any projections. Same like our eyes. So we need these mediums in the center. This is we call ego, our ahamkara, the self-identification. So ancient times in yogi said without this self-identification we cannot perceive the outside world. So that's why we really need this identification. Imagine every child born, you don't name it, you don't have a passport, no birth certificate, probably is creating chaos. It's good in a way, but also it's not really good to learn about the external world. So we, up to certain stage, we really need this identification. I'm Krishna, so this identification I will keep it until the end of the life. But it's how much we are using this identification. In the beginning, we are too much clinging into these identifications, and then the more and more we are refining this identification, one moment will come, we let go, because we'll come to understanding that the white light coming to this crystal is the same like the one projection all these rainbows. There are no big difference. It look different. One is white light, another one is rainbow colors, but in fact both are same. Only the crystal in the middle, the one manipulated. It's the same like our identifications. To experience that, in the beginning we use our mind, our ego, to explore more and more about life, and will come one moment. In fact, these two things are same. Only the crystal make it manipulated in a different way. And you can remove the crystal and then you still see the both are same. Outside world and inside world is the same. That's why I said between the senses and the mind, in the beginning we really need this crystal. But the problem is the crystal, our identification, creating attachment and aversions, and these attachment and aversions are creating a lot of ripples in the mind. Ripples means, imagine the crystal covered completely red color. Okay? Imagine this crystal not crystal clear, but just red color. So the white light entering to this crystal, not projecting all the rainbow colors, probably certain limit color will be projected. So your mind will believe that, so white light always red. It's not all rainbow colors. Until certain point, and maybe raining coming, the crystal can purify, it's clear, wow. Few years I only experienced only red color, but suddenly now I have more colors coming. This is how the mind experiences that. In yoga sadhana, our task is to remove these kind of filters. So this example amazing, it came naturally right now. I'm just thinking, it came now because the moment we are walking on with the crystal, okay, today I'm cleaning my crystal, my ego, I'm cleaning my ego, removing red color, tomorrow green color will come attached to it. It's like that. It's not one work you finish and then it's pure all the time, no. It's an ongoing process. Like you're cleaning your toilet. You clean today, it's not forever clean. We need to keep on this process. Okay? It's the same for our ego. We clean once, the first time is heavy works, and once you come to this, let's say you're keeping habits, you're taking care of your unhealthy ego, this identification, more and more you're coming, you will come to one moment, it's just little efforts, it's not big efforts, because you already start working on a lot. So you know how shitty I am, okay, these shitty parts I already work on, so we'll come to after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years later, okay, I know how to deal with my ego. So the ego, the one manipulating all our mind. And last 6-7 months I was talking the first method Patanjali talked the 3 methods in the first chapter. First, analytical methods means you identifying how these crystals are completely covered by this dirt, impurities, whatever, which influencing our mind. You concretely analyze that and then working according to that. That's the huge part he talking in the first chapter. And the second method and third method, last week I was talking the second method. It's very only probably 1 or 2 sutras he's talking about that. The second method is say that about surrendering to the pure divine or Īśvara pranidhana. This last week I was talking about, because beyond our existence here, if I am exist as a Krishna, as a human here, beyond of my existence there are higher power what I cannot control. I cannot control the nature, I cannot control the weather. These all higher power. And in ancient time, before all these divine forms are transformed into the god, like a female, male gods, or tantric tradition, everything exists. In India, we have said everything they reflected into the nature outside, without gender, without identification. So they said that the nature itself, the divine form, the god, because it's beyond of our capacity to change it. And when we are practice, it's always have some drive force within ourselves are driving towards us. Okay, if you're really dedicated from full-hearted to dealing with whatever attachment and aversion with your problems, okay, I want to liberate myself the problems. Within yourself, always have some force. And this force, you cannot say that is my force, no. This force is very subtle, and this force always exists, everything what we see. It belongs to cosmos. The same force is in the flower, the same force in the flame, the same force every individual here, the same force outside in the nature. And this force, the moment you surrendering, or another times I feel you follow your gut feeling. Your gut feeling never wrong. Your minds can be wrong, but your gut feeling never wrong. If your mind said just go for it, but your gut say that it's something not okay, I don't want to do it, listen to your gut. And many tradition, Eastern tradition, Western tradition, they are also same. Agree with me? So if you feeling the gut, if you follow the gut feeling, you cannot be wrong, because your gut feelings always say that yes, this is not right. Even the mind said you are right, but the gut feeling said no, this is not right, because the gut feelings are almost connected to the higher power, higher consciousness. That is we call Īśvara pranidhana. Some people in their life, they're always feeling that gut feeling. Should I go to teach yoga today? My gut said no, I don't go. It doesn't work in modern world. But there are teachers like that. My father especially like that. He always say that it's ready time to start. Why you don't start? Wait. Later period now I'm getting more older, I'm understanding that he always listen to his gut feeling. He always wait. Sometimes students have to wait 2 hours, 1.5 hours before he really start the satsang. And then I never understood as young, and then I realized later period now when I talk with these elder students, no, your father always listen to your gut. He's just sit quietly, he was talking, chit-chatting, but he don't start the class until the gut say yes, now start the class. Because then all kind of everything can be helping to bringing the practice elevated. That is a Īśvara pranidhana. One side is the Īśvara pranidhana, surrendering to the higher cause. The third option, what Patanjali says that I'm teaching this week, is through the vibration. Let's say you have a lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions, attachment, aversion. I don't know how to handle with this. I cannot apply the analytical methods. It doesn't work. I'm trying to surrendering to gut mind. I don't feel my gut at all. It's completely messed it up with all the cheesecakes, pizza, a lot of things. So another option, you can use the vibration. Vibrations is said tasya, vachakah, pranavah. I think it's Sutra 28 or 20 something, 27 I think. He said another form of the way we can use it by chanting, by vibration. Here said pranava means literally Om, but we can decode the Om in different layers. For example, we can use the gong, the sounds. We can use this sound also. Okay, any kind of a sound. For example, the sound of water falling. Okay, if you go to waterfall or raining, listen to the sound. That's also part of that. because every sound created in the nature outside, it's always harmonized with the pranava Om. If you go deeper into this analysis of the sound always are connected to the Om sound. Or the sound of ocean. When you go to the ocean, the waves coming, of course the sound have different frequencies, but in the ancient time the yogi said all the natural sound. If you go to the forest, how the trees are rubbing each other, or the leaves, and all these sounds are always creating this some sort of frequency, ended it with the pranava Om, and that will be helpful to relax your ripples in the mind. That's why whenever you walk in the nature, in the park, or when it's raining, when you're just sitting next to your windows, listen to the rain, it's always pleasant, it's maybe calm because of this sutra what the vibration make your mind come back to the resting mode. The nirodha state, the restrained state, without any ripple. But this cannot be permanent. Maybe for 5 minutes you feel relaxed and calm, the mind without ripple, but the ripple might come back again. It's just options giving that. Emergency moment. If you really have this high thought process, you don't know how to dealing with that, suddenly you are facing your big boss, but you have so much anger coming, and then rippling your thought process, you just start singing Om. Your boss may say, what? Om, Om, Om. I'm just relaxing myself. This one option, externally you're singing Om, or you can repeat quietly in your mind. The same effect should work loudly or quietly, repetitions. So of course when you meet your boss, you get angry because the confrontation happened. To avoiding all kind of ripple start, you can quietly singing Om in your mind. I'm singing now, but you don't hear it. This will bring your ripples down, and then the more focused mind will become. And this is I want to apply for today's practice. Application of the tasya pranavah, tasya vachakah pranavah. Vachakah means loudly, also mentally. We can combine both of them in a certain